Hello, Melk here, starting off my first ever video Let's Play. This will be of Age of Mythology, one of my favorite games. I first played Age of Mythology when it first came out, around 5th grade or so for me, and immediately got very into it. I'd never played an RTS before, so it was a new and unfamiliar kind of game for me. Later on I began to realize Age of Mythology was in many ways a very generic kind of RTS, but it succeeded at the generic RTS format in a way many other games do not, which is why I've kept coming back to it over the years, although I enjoy other games such as StarCraft and Warcraft 3 much more. It struck me as a good place to start doing a video Let's Play because I know how to play it very, very effectively on Titan difficulty, the hardest difficulty. Thought I could show that off. But, first of all, I want to both learn and practice making a video Let's Play myself, and also show off the basics of the game using the Learn to Play tutorial here.
Age of Mythology is a game of heroes and monsters.
This game generally has some nicely put together, very pretty cinematics to it. They show it off very well here.
From humble beginnings in a small village
There's Cersei,
to mighty
making an appearance later on.
citadels protected by the power of the gods. Tear down the walls of Troy. Battle giants in the frozen wastes near Midgard. And fight armies of Anubites in the shifting sands of Egypt.
For some reason, the Nubites became the game's iconic mythic.
Gods,
Not really sure why.
as a token of appreciation, may someday reward you with great earth-changing powers in Age of Mythology.
On the other hand, it's entirely clear why Meteor became the game's iconic god power.
Today,
So here's the first level
your
of the
task is a
tutorial.
simple one. The hero Arkantos has sailed to an island far from his home in Atlantis, seeking the Cyclops. The slaying of this mythical beast will bring great glory to Arkantos and his hunters. But before we take on the mythical creature, we must learn how to march. Left-click on Arkantos to select him.
So this game uses fairly standard RTS mechanics and controls. But in RTSs, the devil is really in the details. Minor things like unit pathing can make a world of difference in terms of,
Remember,
what ideal tactics are.
left-click a unit to select it.
So it's important to practice to get familiar with those things.
Now right-click near the blue flag to move along the path.
Again, fairly ordinary controls.
If you're ever unsure about what to do next, check the Objectives banner. Click the flashing Objectives banner to see your current goal.
The Objectives banner is
Move
quite
your
helpful.
mouse
They
to
often
the
have
top
useful
of the
tips in
screen
here,
to
and
scroll the
the
view in the main game window
spotlight
to the
here
next
often
flag.
gives you useful
Well
information
done.
about what will be good tactics and good
Right-click the
units to
ground
use.
near the next flag to keep moving down the beach.
What they tell you about here is that you can look down at the stat menu down here, or click this portrait to get more detailed information. That'll be important later on, but I won't get into it now until we've covered the basics.
Volume.
As an important minor note, I will be blue throughout the campaign, so if you see blue stuff, that is my stuff. Red stuff is enemy.
Esto. Malesta.
Here come the other Atlantean warriors. Drag a box around Arkantos and the other men.
Again,
Etimos.
standard RTS
All of
controls.
the hunters are now selected and will move in a group. Continue down the path to the next flag.
Volume.
Most later levels won't have this kind of
Arkantos
voiceover,
and his
so I'll be able to
men
talk
have
more
not
freely
yet
about the
explored this part
mechanics,
of the
strategy,
island,
maybe also the
so
history of
part of the
mythology.
path is still hidden in darkness. The black area represents unexplored territory. Scroll the screen up until you see the next flag. This is where the beast's trail continues. Right-click the flag where the trail continues beyond the black area. The men will move forward, revealing the path as they go.
This is an important note for multiplayer mainly. Unlike many RTSs, in Age of Mythology the entire map is completely blacked out at the beginning. You don't know where anything is. Not only the enemy troops, but just the basic terrain and resources. So scouting is a very big deal, not just to see what the enemy's forces are like, but just find out where in the world the resources are, and where passes and choke points are, things like that. That's especially true in multiplayer, but it applies in campaign too.
Etimos. Ne.
So you'll see me doing a fair amount of scouting, or just relying on my pre-existing knowledge of the campaign.
Malesta.
Excellent. Continue down the path to the next flag.
Ne.
The graphics of the game has really held up
Notice
quite
the
well compared to many other
diamond
games
shape window at the bottom right
of its
corner
same
of the
era,
screen. This
which was the year
is
2002 or
minimap.
2003.
The
I believe.
mini-map shows you where you are and also places you
That's
haven't
this down here.
explored yet. Left-clicking on the mini-map will instantly move the view in the main game window.
Very handy feature. You can drag around
When
to
you're
see anywhere
ready,
very quickly.
continue down the path and seek out the Cyclops.
So you can see these black areas here in the minimap where I haven't ever been. You can see these somewhat dark areas where I have seen them, but I can't see them right now. So I don't know if there's enemy units, I don't know what the terrain is like. And the brighter areas in the minimap are places I can currently see, like where my troops are.
Ne. Volume. Malista. Volume. Esto. Esto. Ne. Malista. Ne. Volume. Malista. Ne. Malista. Volume. Esto.
Look there, the Cyclops.
To attack,
there's the enemy. You can
make
see
sure
it's
your
red.
units are selected.
Malista.
Then right-click on the Cyclops.
Προσταγμένα. Ορθώς.
So before I start fighting, I want to talk a little bit about the units here. I'm not going to go into detail yet, but just, looking at stats. Here's the enemy, the Cyclops. Down here it says it has 600 hit points, 15 damage, 40% hack armor, 50% pierce armor. Hack armor is all that matters right this instant. Compare that to Arcantos. He only has 300 hit points, he only does 9 damage, 50% hack armor. So you might expect that if he hits the Cyclops, he'll do about 9 damage times about 0.6 for armor reduction. About 6 damage per hit. The Cyclops you would think will do about 15 times
Έτοιμος.
0.5 reduction would be 7.5 or so damage.
Λέγε.
But I'll show you that's not at all true.
Εισβολή.
You can see he's taking about 10, 12 damage per hit. Meanwhile, he's dealing about 40 or so. Much, much more than they should be. That's because this game relies a lot upon hidden damage multipliers they won't ever tell you about directly anywhere. But you can look them up online, they're a very important part of gameplay. So, that's the first scenario mission, first part of this Let's Play, and I'll continue it in the near future.